If you're thinking of signing up for Apex Trader Funding, you need to watch this Apex Trader Funding review first. On the surface, their offers look incredible, but I found some potential downsides that could be a total deal breaker for your trading style. I've spent countless hours testing prop firms to help you make the right call, so let's dive into my Apex Trader Funding review and see what it's all about. So, who exactly is Apex Trader Funding really built for, right? Apex is built for, I think, a specific type of trader. It's for the skilled futures trader who has a solid strategy but lacks the capital to back it. You know what you're doing, but you just need a firm behind you to give you a real shot. Apex gives you that shot. You trade with their capital. You keep up to 90% of your profits, and the rules are some of the simplest in the industry. But what stood out to me most was how simple the Apex Trader funding evaluation process is. Some firms make you jump through hoops with complicated restrictions, but Apex keeps it pretty straightforward. You follow the rules, you hit your target, and you're good to go. That transparency builds trust, and for me, that's a big deal. And this isn't just me talking either. When I checked most traders' feedback, the reviews tell the real story about this prop trading firm. So take this one trader, for example. He said that he heard all the horror stories about prop firms not paying traders, but with Apex Trader Funding, he lived the experience and was paid exactly as the rules said. He called it a great opportunity of a lifetime. Here's another reviewer who had traded with several prop firms and said that he now only trades through Apex. Why? Well, he said that the quotes are great, there is no slippage, and the support team is really responsive and professional. He specifically highlighted that the payout process, once you're set up, is really smooth and quick. Now, let's compare this to a big competitor in the industry like TopStep. So, TopStep targets traders who more so value structure and coaching, often appealing to more beginners who want a more educational and slow-paced path into funded trading. So, their process feels more like a trading school with stricter rules, higher evaluation costs, and limited flexibility. So, that's for that kind of person. And Apex Trader Funding, on the other hand, is built for traders who want freedom and speed without what you can interpret as unnecessary barriers. It offers simpler, faster evaluations, affordable pricing, and some of the most generous payout structures in the industry. So traders can really scale up quickly. You can even manage multiple accounts. You can enjoy some really flexible rules that favor active, consistent performers instead of punishing small mistakes. So while TopStep, I think, caters more to cautious learners, Apex is clearly the better choice for serious traders who want to maximize profits and enjoy a fair, trader-friendly environment, right? But how do you actually get funded and paid without hitting any snags along the way? All right, let's look into the Apex Trader Funding payout and the evaluation rules to follow and get funded immediately after getting them all right. So, this is where many traders get a little bit tripped up, not because it's hard necessarily, but because they don't fully understand the rules and follow them perfectly. Now, at first glance, the rules might seem a bit complicated, but actually, once you understand a few key concepts, it's actually pretty straightforward. So, here's how it works. When you start an evaluation account, you're given a starting balance, for example, $50,000, and you're given a maximum drawdown limit. So on that $50K plan, the drawdown is $2,500, meaning your account can't drop below $47,500. Now, here's the big one, the trailing drawdown rule. So this rule means that your drawdown level moves up as your account balance grows. So say you start with $50,000 and you make $500 on your first trade. Your balance is now $50,500, and your drawdown moves up to $48,000. That's $2,500 below your new balance, right? Then on your next trade, your balance briefly spikes to $50,875 before closing lower at, unfortunately, $50,100, for example. So even though you closed the trade lower, the drawdown still moves up to $48,375 because it follows your highest live balance, not your closed profit. So that is a very key detail. The trailing threshold follows your peak balance, not your end of day results. So always keep an eye on it in your Apex dashboard or through RTrader or Tradeovate. Now, Apex offers two main types of accounts, full and static. On full accounts, the trailing drawdown moves up with your balance, but it stops once your liquidation threshold hits your initial balance plus $100. So if you start with $50,000, it stops at $50,100. On static accounts, the drawdown stays fixed, so it doesn't move. For example, a $100,000 static account keeps its drawdown at $99,375 no matter what. Now, there is a special rule for Rhythmic and Tradeovate accounts. With Rhythmic, your drawdown stops trailing once your threshold reaches your profit goal, while with Tradeovate, it keeps trailing all the way through. So keep that in mind if you're switching platforms. To pass the evaluation, you need to do 4 things. You have to hit your profit goal without hitting the max drawdown. You have to trade at least 7 separate days. They don't have to be consecutive, you just have to trade for 7 separate days. Remember, you also have to follow all the rules, and that includes closing trades by 4:59 p.m. ET every day. You have to keep our Tradeovate open to monitor your balance and max drawdown, and as a backup for closing trades if needed. So stay aware of the trailing threshold, and also tracking the trailing threshold really carefully to make sure that you don't go below that, right? Maintain your professionalism, so that means no shared logins, no reckless trading, be very careful with this, and no all-in gambles. You want to be very precise and measured. And yes, Apex will automatically close your trades at 4:59 p.m. ET as a safety measure, but don't rely on it. You want to be careful with that. You should always close your positions manually before that time. If you hit your profit target before completing 7 days, you'll still need to keep trading until that minimum is met, right? So just make sure your account balance doesn't drop below your goal in the meantime. You can take as long as you want to pass. There's no time limit, no pressure. You can trade a few days each week. You can take breaks, and you can come back when you're ready so that you don't mess up and drop below the limit. And if you fail, all right, no worries. You can reset your account for a small fee, and you can continue. Apex even lets you trade multiple evaluation accounts at once if you want to diversify your strategies or scale up your profits. And one last note, always check your eval charts in the dashboard. You'll see your profit and loss over time, your drawdown limit, your trading days, and your progress towards your target. It's updated nightly, and it gives you a clear picture of where you stand. All right, now you see how simple it is to actually pass the evaluation, even if it sounds a little bit complicated. Just follow these rules we just discussed, and you'll pass your Apex Trader Funding evaluation with flying colors. But how do you qualify for payout after passing the evaluation? All right, Apex recently rolled out their Apex 3.0 payout system, and honestly, it's one of the most trader-friendly payout structures I've seen. It's designed to be fast, flexible, and really transparent, so no confusing payout windows, no unnecessary waiting. Here's how it works. Once you've completed at least 8 trading days, and at least 5 of those days show a profit of $50 or more, you're officially eligible to request your payout. There's no need to wait for like the 1st or the 15th of the month anymore. You can request a withdrawal anytime once those requirements are met. But before you cash out, you'll need to meet the safety net rule. So this safety net equals your account's drawdown amount plus $100. So keep that in mind. For example, on a $50,000 account with a $2,500 drawdown, your safety net is $2,600. You'll need to keep that cushion in place before taking your payout, just in case. Now, for your first 3 payouts, the safety net always applies, and after your 4th payout, it no longer restricts you. And yes, you can request a minimum withdrawal of $500 as soon as you meet the criteria, even if it slightly dips into your safety net. All right, next, let's talk about the 30% consistency rule, also known as the windfall rule. This one keeps things fair by making sure that your profits come from consistent performance, not one lucky day. So that means no single trading day can actually make up more than 30% of your total profit since your last payout. It's a little bit weird, but just think about that. So once you request your payout, Apex typically reviews and approves it within 2 business days as long as you're following the rules, and your funds are sent within about 3 to 4 days depending on your bank. Now, depending on how much you actually keep, Apex's profit split is one of the best out there. You get 100% of your first $25,000 in profits and 90% of everything after that. There are also a few risk and consistency rules you'll want to follow just to stay compliant with that, but that is a good start, right? So, to start, you gotta maintain a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio, meaning your stop loss shouldn't be more than 5 times your target profit. Failure to keep to this may result in probation, account removal, or a warning depending on the severity and frequency. You can use strategies like dollar cost averaging or flipping trades, which is like a quick same-day scalps, as long as you stick to consistent, responsible trading. And if you accidentally break a rule, it's not the end of the world. Apex usually gives traders like a warning or a short probation before any payout is straight up denied. Just fix the issue and trade the next 8 qualifying days to get back on track. On Reddit, I actually saw a trader post about being denied a payout because of the 30% rule. But another user responded, and I quote, "Just trade the minimum days again and stick to the rules. Once approved, your full profit will be available next time." All right. So that shows that the system is forgiving as long as you play by the rules. They're not trying to keep you from your profits. They're just trying to make sure you're consistent and profitable in the long term, right? But that reminds me, there is no perfect platform, right? And there's always the little nitpicks and the little mistakes and little errors that people find, but there are some major issues, and there is one common complaint about Apex Trader Funding that you do need to be aware of. So I've seen reviews, and you probably have too, they're all over, where traders can complain that there are a lot of rules to keep track of. Like, we went over a few of them. Those are the ones you need to keep track of, and it can seem like a lot at first. Specifically, one thing to keep track of every day is the intraday trailing drawdown that can catch some traders off guard. Now, I get why it's there, right? Apex wants to make sure that traders don't over leverage or take reckless trades or get lucky and use that as like that evaluation. So it feels a little bit restrictive perhaps, but it actually teaches better risk management in the long term. So if you understand the rules and you stick to them, that won't be a problem. In fact, I really see it as part of what makes Apex traders stronger. So it is something to keep in mind, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. And when it comes to Apex Trader Funding's cost, right? So this prop firm is very reasonably priced compared to its competitors. You're not paying recurring monthly fees just to stay active, and the cost to start an evaluation is much lower than many other firms. So for serious traders, that's a real win. Their pricing is tiered based on the amount of size that you want to trade, so you have from like smaller accounts all the way up to six-figure ones. For the most current pricing and any active promotions or discounts that they're currently running, make sure to check the link in the description of this video. We try to keep it updated for you so that you get the best possible deal. All right, so what is my final verdict in this Apex Trader Funding review? Well, if you're a disciplined trader with a proven strategy, the value here far outweighs the cost. The access to capital, the straightforward payout rules, and the overall trader-friendly approach really make it a top contender in the prop firm space. If you're ready to see if you qualify, check the link in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and coupon.